he submitted himself to my representative because he has no other options other than submit himself to the custody of the law, because whether he like it or not, he has no other options during the time. On the part that he is saying that he voluntarily surrendered, it is just on the colloquial and the popular term of this term surrender, because he has no other option. Again, I will stress on that, because all the other units there that provided us with assistance only provided prisoner transport from the place he is arrested to the place where he is detained. So that's the synopsis of everything that transpired during that day on September 8th, when he took custody of him to make him answerable to the crimes that he is charged of in various courts in the Philippines.
Ngayon po, tungo tayo sa ating law enforcement naman. So kung maaring matanong ko naman muna si General Torre, sir. General, nung nakuha po si Quiboloy, naging usap-usapan po noon kung naaresto ba siya or sumuko ba siya. Pwede nyo bang liwanagan ito para sa amin? Paki-update nga po ang bayan. Once and for all, ano po ba ang nangyari?
At the outset, ma'am, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to present our side on this August body. This is the second time that we appear in the Senate, and in the first time, it resulted in our ability to show to the public what is happening during the 16-day operation inside the KOGC compound. And today, we do hope to continue with our quest for justice to help the victims look and find and receive the justice that they also deserve. Regarding the arrest of Mr. Quiboloy, in all intents and purposes, in our whole operations, he is arrested because he submitted himself to my representative because he has no other options other than submit himself to the custody of the law, because whether he like it or not, he has no other options during the time, because I have 4,500 people around him inside this compound, and 1,200 is concentrated on the two buildings that he has control of. On the part that he is saying that he voluntarily surrendered, it is just on the colloquial and the popular term of this term surrender, because he has no other option. Again, I will stress on that, because all the other units there that provided us with assistance only provided prisoner transport from the place he is arrested to the place where he is detained. So that's the synopsis of everything that transpired during that day on September 8th, when he took custody of him to make him answerable to the crimes that he is charged of in various courts in the Philippines.
Salamat po, General. And bilang isang sibilyan, isang mambabatas, naiintindihan ko na anuman yung colloquial or popular term na gamitin, ang outcome ay nasa kamay na siya ng ating mga otoridad dahil sa environment na na-create nyo on the ground, no? Kasama itong 4,500 personnel nyo, na yung 1,200 ay dun lamang nakakonsentrate sa dalawang building kung saan siya tumagal, no, ng ilang mga araw. Yes, General.
I do believe that the term surrender and arrest is being debated upon. Well, I do believe that the camp of Mr. Quiboloy would like to model the issue on the term the surrender and arrested, because it has great bearing on the criminal case that they are facing, ma'am. So they can use the voluntary surrender term as part of their maybe their defense for and prayer for leniency and cite it as a mitigating circumstance. However, it is not the case, and it was never the case in this situation, ma'am.
Well, in any case po, General, tulad ng nagtiwala kami sa PNP na sa tulong ng ibang mga other units na nag-a-assist ay mapapasakamay nyo rin si Mr. Quiboloy, may tiwala rin ang komite ngayon sa Department of Justice na ma-handle alang-alang sa mga victim survivors at alang-alang sa ating bayan yung mga kaso ni Quiboloy. General, ang sabi niyo po ay may mga continuing crimes na nagaganap sa loob ng KOJC compound. At sabi niyo po na may mga iba pang mga biktima na gusto ng PNP pang sagipin. So, pwede po ba kayong mag-elaborate tungkol dito?
As of the moment, ma'am, we are partnering with the Department of Justice in building up other cases to be filed against Apollo Quiboloy and his cohorts, his companions. Last week, we have filed sedition and inciting to sedition charges against them through the Department of Justice and with the assistance of the special prosecutors assigned by the DOJ for this case. And there's still continuing build-up on the possible rescue of other people because we had experienced the extensive brainwashing. Mr. Quiboloy had a head start of around 30 years against the law enforcement, and we are just scratching the top. And I do believe that as time goes by, as people see the fallacies of his declarations, more people and more victims will be having the courage, will summon the courage to actually seek for the redress that the law is ready to give them.
Maraming salamat para doon, General Torre. Yun din yung wish ng komiteng ito at napaka-importante yung sinabi nyo na may build-up pa kayo para sa dagdag na possible rescues. Of course, mga adults din at lalong-lalo na siguro yung mga bata tulad nung anak ni Miss Jocelyn na buti na rescue na rin niya, no? At sa tulong din ng DSWD at saka DepEd. Lastly for now, mula sa akin, General Torre, sabi nyo po, may mga humarang sa inyo sa pag-aresto kay Quiboloy. Ito ba'y, halimbawa, kagaya ng paglalagay ng mga fire truck, iba pang sasakyan para harangin yung highway mismo sa labas ng compound. Ito ba'y mga KOJC members din? O meron ding mga opisyal ng gobyerno? Sa tingin nyo ba ay may involvement pati yung local government sa pagprotekta kay Quiboloy?
Well, on the direct evidence that we have right now, ma'am, we have seen members and non-members alike who had conspired to prevent us from serving the warrant of arrest for Quiboloy, or at the very least make it very, very difficult for us to actually do our job. And it's not for the persistence and faith of my superiors and the people from the government, and also the cooperation and the blood, tears, and sacrifice of my men, we would not have achieved and overcome that the obstacles that they did to prevent us from achieving the mission. We had experienced roadblock after roadblocks, and in the pressures, especially considering that the compound is very large and the only coverage that we have there is the SMNI, to which we are actually asking YouTube to take down, considering that it's being used to protect a fugitive not only from the Philippines, but also a fugitive of the laws of the United States. So we're asking YouTube to actually take down the channel of SMNI and also Facebook for them to prevent from using those social media platforms as leverage for their illegal activities and criminal activities, basically. And at this juncture, ma'am, I would like to thank the Senate for giving us this chance to show to tell our story, the side of the story, hoping that this is a hearing in aid of legislation, and I do hope that legislation will really be passed to help us and again give leverage to the law enforcement, because I can really feel that in the 6-10-day operation we have reached the limits of the law, and we have really tested the limits of the law there, and I do believe that we still did everything within the bounds of the law. However, it however difficult it may be. And I do believe that it's time that we also try to adjust the law in the hope that it will be more responsive to the needs of the time. Because if we only listen to all those telling us that, especially the lawyers of Apollo Kibuloy, telling us that we are doing things illegally because for 16 days we stay there without a search warrant, citing that the use of the warrant of arrest as basis of our search, and stay there in the compound, which I believe that they are wrong, really gave us this sometimes this sense of doubting ourselves, especially that the propaganda day in and day out is hitting us left and right. And I do think that this opportunity comes, because if we don't adjust and make the law more responsive to the current times, it will create a situation where some people will be definitely beyond the reach of the law. Because if we are not that persistent, Mr. Kibuloy will still be out there laughing at us and just telling everything that things that he wants to say, because he will be he will be always out of the reach of the law. So thank you very much, ma'am, for giving us this opportunity to be part of the crafting of more responsive legislation, so that we can be better and more effective in our law enforcement and in the assistance and in the implementation of the processes of the laws of the land. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you also, General. And in fact, hindi lang ang Senado, pero iba pang mga institusyon at organisasyon ay nagpahayag ng suporta sa inyong law enforcement operation noong mga linggong iyon. Halimbawa, yung Integrated Bar of the Philippines, Davao. Kahit paglabas ng isang desisyon ng korte doon din sa Davao, in-affirm ng IBP Davao na valid pa rin yung operation ninyo in order to effectively serve the warrant. And yes, kahit tatlo lang kaming miyembro ng komite o ng Senado ay nakadalo ngayong mabagyong araw, pero lahat po kami, yung chair, si majority leader, si minority leader, ay may nakikita talagang halaga nitong pagdinig natin at yung mga partisipasyon ninyo na mga katrabaho namin sa gobyerno in aid of legislation. At may mga tinutukoy talagang mga lumang batas na baka kailangang amyendahan o mga bagong batas na kailangan nating ipasa. Lastly, General Torre, for now from the chair, ang CIDG po ba tumitingin na rin sa alleged killings na allegedly iniutos ni Kibuloy?
Yes, ma'am. Given the chance, we'll be presenting the results of our initial investigation. For the past 1 month that I'm designated as head of the CIDG, I continued what I started in Region 11, and we are ready to present to this August body and to the public the link analysis and diagram that we had prepared with the accounting of the personalities, including the incidents, including those that were mentioned by the witnesses who spoke before me, ma'am.
I see. General, prepared ba kayo maghain ng ganitong kahit broad strokes kung ano yung pinaka-importanteng mga initial results ng inyong investigasyon nitong nakaraang buwan, pati yung link analysis, or ano ba yung maaari nyo nang at pwede nang ibahagi sa komite?
Yes, ma'am. We can show you just one slide, which is
Yes, sir. Please
the
do.
collection of, which is basically the simple result of our validation and collation of the information that we have right now, ma'am. It's on the processing, and I will be asking my regional chief of the Regional Field Unit 11 of CIDG to show to us the single slide of the link analysis.
Salamat, General. Sir, nakapanumpa naman din kayo kanina, ano po? Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
If you could, sige po. Handa na po yatang
yes, ma'am. While they are
i-upload.
preparing that, ma'am, this is still a work in progress, and as time goes by, we do believe that there's even a possibility that the Senate and congressional investigation on the EJK will intersect with each other.
I see.
So there's,
Well, that's very important. Para sa kaalaman ng lahat, ang investigasyon naman ng Senado sa ilalim ng Blue Ribbon Committee ay magsisimula naman po sa Lunes, 28 nitong buwan at ang magpapangulo ay si Minority Leader Senator Coco Pimentel.
Yes, ma'am. It's part of his. The link analysis will cover around 30 years from the start up to the present that we know based on the declaration of various witnesses. There may be times that things will be for validation. The danger is only libel. Maybe so that's why I ask my personnel to redact the
Yes, sir.
link analysis, remove the names.
Apo.
But rest assured that without the reduction, there will be actual names that will be given in there.
Very
that
well
will
taken, General.
That will include victims who were already killed, who had died, and that will include the witnesses that you have just heard today and how they are positioned in the network of Mr. Kibuloy.
Wala pong problema sa reduction, General Torre. Isa sa mga best practices din na ginagawa ng aming komite kapag hindi pa pwede o dapat ilabas ang anumang dokumento.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank
Of
you,
course, we also this is a from our standpoint. This is a two-edged sword. This will give Mr. Kibuloy the idea on how far we are in the investigation of his organization. But also, we are presenting this to the public, hoping that to show the public and the potential, especially the potential victims, the other victims who have not yet spoken, have not yet surfaced, to have the courage to believe in us that we are actually in the correct path to the total investigation and comprehensive investigation of the organization of Mr. Kibuloy and his eventual delivery to the Bar of Justice of this land bank.
General, magtitiwala po ang chair sa judgment nyo
Yes, ma'am.
kung ano ang tingin nyo dapat at pwede nyo nang isa publiko without telegraphing any of your punches sa defense team ni Mr. Kibuloy.
Yes, ma'am.
The chair will respect that po. What you want to and can present in public sa hearing na ito o ano yung gusto nyong isumite na lang muna in writing or dahil mag-adjourn na tayo, wala nang executive session, but I will trust your judgment po. Ano yung gusto nyong ilabas ngayon in public hearing, ano naman yung gusto nyong isumite na lang in writing or totally not submit yet habang work in progress yung investigation.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to acknowledge the immense work of Colonel Hanser Marantan here, the chief of the Davao City Police Office,
Yes.
to my left.
Yes.
They had been working closely with Colonel Jean Licod, my regional chief of the Regional Field Unit 11, under the direction of our chief PNP. Who had given us the instruction to really focus on this operation. Please, we only use please only flash the Jean. Pakibantay mo na lang yung link diagram lang.
Or
Link diagram
sir,
lang.
General, while we're waiting for the finalized, redacted and finalized slide, maybe I can pose some questions kay Colonel Marantan.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, General. Colonel, kaugnay sa isang follow-up question ko kay General kanina, naging usap-usapan din na mayroong mga kailangan pang i-rescue na mga kababaihan at kabataan, in particular, sa loob ng KOJC. Ano pong actions ang kinuha ng PNP? At may mga rescue attempts ba na ginawa in coordination sa ibang mga government agencies?
Madam Chair, yes. In fact, we have a good accounting with them. I have prepared some slides there for your appreciation. Maybe it's there already on the PowerPoint presentation.
Or baka, Colonel, pwede nating ipakita yung tatlong slides nun
Yeah.
kasabay or pagkatapos nung iisang slide, yung finalized and redacted na link analysis. So kung pwede, magpatuloy lang muna yung verbal na pagtatanong ng chair
Yes.
sa inyo.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Salamat, Colonel. Marami ding vloggers na nagulat ng, ito na po. O sige, suspend ko muna yung pagtatanong sa inyo, Colonel. Balikan po natin yung slide na pwedeng kayo rin po, Colonel. Sino pong magpe-present nung slide ni General? Kayong dalawa po, si General at kayo, sir.
Ako ba yan?
At si Colonel Marantan. All right, so the three gentlemen.
Colonel Marantan will do the honors, ma'am.
All right, Colonel Marantan, you have the floor po.
Madam Chair, please allow me to read some lines of this prepared opening statement by the DCPO. So I will cover about 4 slides there, and i-cover ko yung magbibigay ng statement mamaya member of the pastoral also. So with that, after nearly a month of daily attempts to arrest Pastor Apollo Quiboloy and his cohorts inside the KOGC compound, which is 30-hectare property in Davao City, on September 8, 2024, he was arrested by the PNP. After various dramas have been witnessed by the public in relation to this arrest, and a number of victims of Quiboloy have slowly surfaced, approached us, and has given significant information about the illegal activities of said personality committed repeatedly over the years. With the painstaking efforts made by the law enforcement agencies, significant revelations were made to our investigators which are relevant to the prosecution of Quiboloy and his illegal activities, particularly in the highly technical scheme qualified trafficking in persons committed by him and his cohorts. These reports were voluntarily offered by the victims to the PNP with high hopes that justice will be served to other victims who were lured by Quiboloy and his victimization. The revelations, which likewise appear to be consistent and based on facts, led to our investigation on the so-called angels of death, whom Quiboloy exploited to infuse fear among his victims. As we speak, the PNP, with the constant collaboration with different units, are working together to complete the picture of the dynamics of Quiboloy's illegal activities perpetrated over the years. Today, we will also be hearing corroborative statements from one of the victims whose youth have been robbed because of his illegal scheme. With our goal to help this committee identify loopholes and room for improvements for the Republic Act 10364, or the expanded anti-trafficking law and other related laws, it is likewise our end goal to build up airtight cases that could lead to the successful prosecution of cases against him and cohorts. Today, Madam Chair, we are ready to answer questions to help this committee craft legislations as may be necessary. But before that, may I show you some of these slides, whom I know is pertinent to the topic at bar. Next slide, please. The Kingdom of Jesus Christ was founded, yes. I think ito yung tanong kanina na next po, next na. Next slide. Thank you. Kanina, Pastor Quiboloy was asked kung ilan yung members of the KOGC. And publicly announced that their members have reached about 8 million followers. However, based on the interviews conducted by us, only about less than 8,000 members are believed to be currently active members of the said religious denominations worldwide. And nakita po ninyo sa screen yung breakdown. And these are all, they were all supplied by some of the members akin to the dynamics of KOGC. About 20 countries plus one, the Philippines, about 21 countries ang nailista ho namin dyan. Next slide. Nandyan ho yung mga numero. Next slide. Ito yung simplified projection of the tip scheme of Pastor Quiboloy. First on the recruitment and then the grooming. Doon sa grooming, there will be separation kung sino ang prospect nila na maging subject of the sexual exploitation. Doon naman hindi mag-qualify, doon sa standard, pupunta sa ordinary miracle worker for the forced labor eventually. Next slide. Kanina, we were talking about the difference between the lifestyle of the pastoral and members of the simple workers. Next slide.
Just please return to one of the...
Yes, General
previous slide.
Torre.
If, baka makalimutan na ni Colonel Marantan. This room is the bedroom of Mr. Kibuloy in the Bible school. Bible school. And there is a bedroom, something like that, looks something like that. With the twin, the lower right corner is the twin tub jacuzzi. Jacuzzi for 2 persons. Thank you.
And taken from the narrative of the pastorals,
Yes, Colonel Marantan.
this is where the sexual exploitation oftentimes is being perpetrated. Next slide. Yan po yung difference na sinasabi kanina ng mga kasama natin ng mga resource speakers. Next slide. On sexual exploitation perpetrated by Kibuloy after victim is groomed and ready for sexual exploitation. And victimization continued repeatedly through the years and by generation. Through his preaching with the inner pastorals per narrative of the former pastorals, Kibuloy aimed to acquire 1,000 women anchored on the biblical story of Solomon, king of Israel, who had 700 wives and 300 concubines. Next slide. Believed to have victimized around 200 women already. Currently, PNP identified 68 female personalities of different ages whom were victimized by Kibuloy's sexual exploitation. Engaged in strict fellowship with the inner pastorals to brainwash them of the purpose of illegal acts. Kibuloy capitalized on the existence of angels of death to sow fear among inner pastorals. Doon pumasok yung matinding compartmentalization na kahit magkakatabi sila, hindi nila alam yung mga nangyari sa kanila. These inner pastorals who subjected themselves on the last rite, which is the performance of sexual activity with the Kibuloy himself. Next slide. Meron ho kaming mga sinundan na mga members of the pastoral. Very fresh pa yung mga experience na they can narrate it. Mamaya ho, maririnig din ninyo yung narrative ni Elias Marie. Next slide. Yung tatlo hong na-invite natin, invited by the Senate, si Stephanie Ibarra, and 3 of them, pwedeng i-refer ko lang. Si Olive Campo and Jack Holtz, ay hindi ho nag-respond sa invitation by the Senate. Pinapakita ho namin sa inyo ang due diligence performed by the members of the DCPO. Pero apparently, they did not heed to the invitation of the Senate, especially Stephanie Ibarra. Next slide. Yan po yung mga efforts. Every day, pumupunta yung mga policemen natin doon sa alam ng mga address nila. Next slide. On the way forward, there's an investigation on the land grabbing issues at Barangay Tamayong, on the house of Kibuloy in Garden of Eden, Barangay Tamayong. Next slide. Oftentimes, naipalabas naman ho yung mga photos na ito. Financial investigation on possible money laundering case committed by Kibuloy and KOJC. Investigation on possible tax evasion committed by KOJC and other proprietary businesses owned by KOJC. investigation on the legality of operations of schools and other business entitled entities owned by KOJC, and the investigation on the involvement of other foundations utilized by KOJC in the operations. Next slide. And with that, Madam Chair, I think the Elias Marie is ready to narrate her ordeal inside the KOJC compound for 10 years.
Maraming salamat, Colonel Marantan. At bago ko tawagin si Elias Marie, well, salamat dun sa presentation nyo rin on ways forward. Ganun ko rin gustong i-adjourn itong hearing mamaya on the ways forward, both dun sa mga investigations and dun sa rehabilitation ng mga victim survivors. One quick follow-up question, Colonel, bago ko i-recognize si Elias Marie. Ano po yung alam ninyo ng PNP o natuklasan sa Angels of Death? Na-identify nyo po ba ang mga miyembro ng grupong ito? At saka meron bang mga government officials o workers na involved sa grupong iyon?
Ikaw sasagot. Ma'am, that will be the contents
General
of the contents of our link diagram that will be presented later on.
All right,
and
thank you, General.
also, ma'am, maybe it's just hindi lang na-mention ni Colonel Marantan. The investigation has already extended up to out of the country. Colonel Marantan has just arrived from Europe, from Austria in particular, interviewing the pastorals that are already based there. So the investigation is not only limited in the Philippines now. We had already sent agents, and we thank the PNP, our Chief PNP, General Marbil, for supporting us and to go sending officers actually as far as Austria to conduct the investigation. Thank you.
Salamat din, General Torre. Mukhang na-upload na yung slide ng link analysis. Gusto nyo bang ipresenta yung pinaka-importanting aspects nito bago ko i-recognize si Elias Marie?
I'll give you the opportunity, ma'am, if you will allow us, I'll give the opportunity to Colonel Jean Licod, the Regional Field Unit Chief of CIDG Region 11 based in Davao City.
Right, salamat, General. Colonel Licod, you have the floor po to present the highlights nitong slide.
To the Chairman, Madam Risa Ontiveros, ma'am, good afternoon. The other members of the Senate and, of course, the distinguished visitors, good afternoon to everybody. The presentation that I will be making this afternoon is just to support whether or not there is an existence of angels of death. So, if you don't mind, if we could just go back just a little bit to the background, ma'am, so that I can read.
Please proceed, Colonel.
Just to read a little bit with the background of the so-called angels of death. Pastor Apollo Coviloy, the self-proclaimed appointed son of God, has used the term angels of death to threaten the members who violates the doctrine, teachings, and code of secrecy of KOJC. Thus, the angels of death was established in 1990. Apollo Quiboloy handpicked trusted members with background in military and security training to compose the Angels of Death, which later on utilized as liquidation team to various KOJC locations nationwide. Members reportedly possess firearms and are supervised by Crescente Chavez Canada, or also known as Enteng, and Ingrid Canada. So you might be smiling right now, but later I will prove it to you in the succeeding slides. These angels of death reportedly operate as a secretive, loyal group within the KOJC ministry, capable of imposing both physical and psychological harm on those who do not comply with Quiboloy's wishes. The very name, angels of death, suggests a level of intimidation and power that goes beyond mere spiritual guidance. The allegations paint a picture of an organization that functions as a private army, a weaponized wing of Quiboloy's church, used to coerce and control members, particularly vulnerable young women whom Kibuloy has allegedly abused. On the part of the investigation, as the primary investigation office of Philippine National Police and in behalf of my director of the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group, we have set some objectives pertaining to the very existence, whether or not the angels of death does exist or not. So we established some objectives to prove whether or not angels of death exist. Second, reinvestigate dismissed cases involving deaths by members of angels of death. Third, identify the crimes perpetrated by the alleged angels of death and its surrounding circumstances. Fourth, identify the degree of participation of members and provide evidence for filing of appropriate charges in court. Definitely, we have to find evidence so that we can file a complaint before the court. As to the efforts that is being undertaken by the CIDG in particular and the PNP in general, we are continuously identifying the alleged members of angels of death, profiling of the alleged members, interview of victims' family, relatives, and witnesses relative to the crimes perpetrated by the alleged angels of death, thorough and discreet validation on the involvement of the alleged angels of death relative to the death of former KOGC members, coordination with other intelligence units, the local police, the AFP, counterparts, and other agencies for case build-up and possible operations if evidence warrants. And next is continuous monitoring and gathering of information and submission of development report as obtained. Now, ma'am, I would like to bring your attention to the diagram being shown in this slide. We would like to show you how is the flow of instruction being undertaken. Of course, as we all know, that the KOGC is a structured organization, but this one, it is not a structured organization. Kaya yung angels of death, ma'am, is just the term that is being used. But it is not an organization. It is how, in this diagram, how the instruction is being relayed or being followed by the members. Well, of course, on the right corner, as you can see, is Pastor Apollo Kibuloy. Based on that diagram, Madam Chairman, there are 4 na kanyang pinagkakatiwalaan ng kanyang mga instruction. Si Mr. B, of course, Mr. Crescente Canada, si Ingrid Canada, at saka si Pastor Acobo, based on the diagram. Yan, ma'am, yung 4 na mga pinagkakatiwalaan niya. As of now, base doon sa mga nakukuha nating mga interviews and affidavits na nakuha natin. So, yan ang lumalabas sa sa ating structure. Now, ma'am, in relation to the punishments being undertaken on some deaths also, but we are not saying that they are the perpetrators. That's why, on the words of our director, we are on case build-up. We have to gather evidence so that we can prove the objectives that we wanted, to prove the whatever crimes that was committed. Those are the circumstances. To explain further, ma'am, the diagram. If you see on the diagram, most of the instructions is coming from Ingrid Canada. However, if you look into the diagram, dotted lines po siya, ma'am. So meaning, she gives the instruction, however, they need confirmation from Crescente Canada. That is why there is a solid line coming from Crescente, Canada. So hindi po pwedeng si Ingrid lamang po yung magbibigay ng instruction at siya lang din po yung susundin. So manggagaling, i-confirm din po nung mga 1 to 12 na yan and more kay Crescente, Canada. Yan po yung usually nangyayari. As what we are saying, ma'am, these are all taken, extracted from the accounts of our witnesses and taken from their affidavits. Hindi ito imbento. All others, ma'am, yung mga nandyan, ma'am, yung mga nakapula po dyan, ma'am, if you look into that. So, yan, ma'am, yung mga ongoing investigation po natin, yung mga tinakpan po natin na ABC, yan ay mga witnesses po natin, ma'am, and with the indulgence of the committee, Madam Chairman, since this is an ongoing investigation and we're looking into some evidence before we can file a case before the court of law, yan po lang muna yung maipapakita natin sa ngayon, ma'am.
Maraming salamat para doon, Colonel Liquid.
Thank you, ma'am.
Just a couple of follow-up questions kung pwede na ring sagutin. Una po, sa tingin nyo ba tuloy-tuloy pa yung trafficking operations ng KOJC? General Torre.
Based on our assessment, ma'am, yes. There's still a possibility, although obviously not on the same scale as when Kibuloy is still heading the operations. And with this kind of publicity that the good senator is doing, I believe that this will have a great impact in stopping this illegal activity, ma'am.
Sana nga po, General. Salamat. At lastly, at this point in time, sino ang new leader? May impormasyon ba kayo kung sinong lumilitaw na bagong head pastor?
As of the moment, ma'am, based on that link diagram, ma'am, you can see there on the upper right corner, Mr. Marlon Acobo. He has been doing that role, ever since I was there. We were there, and I would like to clarify that among the informants that we had. Among the informants that were covered in that link diagram are people that you actually heard a while ago, ma'am. So those people there are prominently, the people that we heard a while ago are prominently playing a role in that link diagram.
Maraming salamat para doon, General Torre at Colonel Marantan at Colonel Liquid.